Howdy, greetings and salutations, good evening, good day, whenever you get this. I'm recording this for the new moon lunar eclipse in Aries. But whenever you find this, these are timeless. If the messages make sense to you and resonate for you, then it could possibly be for you, but only you'll know that. Hi, welcome. I always have grand ideas about like showing up for these lunar transits with like some notes, some astrology notes for you. And then I get overwhelmed with trying to decide like what's the best few facts. So then I end up not, but maybe one day. But just for today, in the interest of keeping this kind of short, because I am going to pull cards for the different elemental groupings. The eclipse. Okay, so new moon lunar eclipse is when the moon gets in between the earth and the sun and, blocks out the light. New moons, in kind of a woo-woo term, are generally a time for going inward, for manifesting, for trying it's a period of growth that's coming up, and so it's about setting intentions for what you want to grow into, and what you want to bring from the dark into the light. This eclipse is the last eclipse in Aries. What's the fastest way? There's these things called the nodes of the moon, sometimes referred to as the nodes of destiny or the nodes of fate. There's a north and a south, and they change the axis, changes signs every year and a half to 2 years. And it's been about 2 years since it moved into Aries and Libra, because they're always opposites, sister signs. And this is the last eclipse in Aries. So for the last, there's several other kind of smaller and bigger cycles being wrapped up as well. But just in terms of the eclipse, we are wrapping up a 2-year cycle. It's been about 2 years since the nodes moved into the Aries and Libra axis. And so this is about kind of asking ourselves, or what felt right for the tone of the reading was to kind of ask, what lessons should we bring forward with us from these last 2 years? Like, as this cycle is wrapping up and we're starting, a whole bunch of new things. We're starting the new year, astrologically, just started on the equinox. This is the first new moon of the new year. It's the first, Aries is the first new moon every year. We have Neptune changing signs tomorrow or the next day, moving in from Pisces into Aries. Neptune in Pisces is very dreamy. Neptune is the dreamer, and then Pisces is so dreamy. But Neptune in Aries is about now bringing those dreams, like grounding those dreams into reality and taking action. There's just a lot of big shifts. Neptune, I know we've talked about Pluto changing signs, which is, I think that was like 14 years. That's like every 14 to 20 years. Neptune also has not changed signs in, I think, 13 or 14 years. So these are some big collective shifts that are happening. And then also like smaller shifts that are happening, for us on a more, is it macro level, right? Macro when you zoom in. Anyways, lots happening, pals. It's giving very like slingshot energy. So yeah, it's just gonna be really interesting to see what happens. All right, great. Less than 5 minute intro. I was trying to keep the intro kind of short. Okay, hi. Water signs. Yes, that's where we're at. Okay, so Scorpio, fellow Scorpios, Pisces, Cancers, for your Sun, Moon, Rising, North Node, Venus, whichever of your transits you want to check. This reading is in regards regarding what lessons can we take with us from these last 2 years, and the eclipses that have occurred in Aries and Libra. What lessons can we bring forward into this new chapter with us? I am pulling for us from the Beauty of Horror Tarot. the awesome Alan Robert. His artwork is really good. If you haven't seen it before. Okay. I guess I should show you the cards and then we'll say. First we have 10 of Pentacles. We have King of Pentacles. And we have 4 of Pentacles. There's a theme here. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Chariot. Okay. This is going to be a lovingly yelled at. What's the best way to say this? Listen, you're fine. You're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. All is well. Like, they're just like, oh, please let go of the angst and please let go of the worry. This is your work, your lesson. Yelling at myself too. Is about finding the stability because it is there. You have it. 10 of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles. All cards that represent stability, foundational stability in resources, within your foundations, your life, your home life, your family life. This is about saying like, hey, you know what you've learned over the last couple of years? That actually things are fine. Actually, the innate sense of like, is everything going to be okay? And being worried about like your survival. It's like that actually hasn't been a present worry in actually quite a while. If we're looking back and we're really honest with ourselves, there's some work to be done on letting go of these limiting beliefs, these like scarcity beliefs, these things that we have brought along with us. And like, you've healed a lot. Like, you've healed a lot of the trauma. You've healed a lot of the way that you speak to yourself, the way that you speak to other people. Like, there's so much growth and amazing good shit that has come out of the last, like, I don't know, especially like, 6 years. But it's kind of about being able to see for yourself that like you have so much more stability than you recognize. And that once you can really see that, I mean, I was saying earlier, another one, there's a real slingshot kind of energy to this month and this year and these transits, these big transits that are happening. And Spirit's really just showing you here. I mean, so the 10 of Pentacles is the like #blessed card. I think that's the card that it is in the Millennial Tarot. But it's about like having everything you need, and all of the hard work that you have put in has come to fruition. It's the card that represents legacy. It represents generational wealth. It represents just like whole happiness, right? Feeling good, having what you need, and feeling strong and connected. And then the King of Pentacles is so kind and generous and strong and stable and, just unbothered, right? The 4 of Pentacles specifically represents stability, financial stability. And so maybe there's been this, if I'm only looking at it from the viewpoint that I've had, maybe it feels like things have been more on the edge than they actually have been. Maybe some of that fear that you have isn't really warranted. And maybe now is the time to cut that off. Maybe now is the time to really do that last bit of inner work to find out where that feeling of instability is coming from, because it's not your circumstances. Like your circumstances are great, you know. Is there some chaos? Is there a little like eclipse shakeups? Yeah, it's happening to all of us. But through the shakeup, do you really feel insecure? Do you really feel like you don't know what's going to happen? Or is it just that things are a little shaken up right now and maybe you needed that? I mean, some of us do get in a rut, and while we can be comfortable there, and it doesn't mean that things are bad or unhappy or even that you're not useful there. It's just maybe it's not where you're meant to be. And so maybe the shakeups are to show you that you have so much more stable foundation for yourself than you realized you did. I mean, I think that's pretty fucking great. I will take that lesson. Thank you. While also recognizing that there's some work to do and figuring out how to go about that. Yeah. All right. I wasn't planning to pull an oracle card, but then I ended up doing it for the other ones. I mean, for 3. Sorry, fire signs. I didn't do one for them. Oh, there we go. Okay. We got my breath connects to life. Let's see what they say. Okay, my breath connects me to life. In yogic teachings, breath is known as prana, which is another word for life force. The ancient yogis saw no distinction between breath and life force, and today the universe is encouraging you to tune into the power of your breath. We breathe without thinking, and yet when things get tense or overwhelming, there's a good chance that we deprive ourselves of what we need most, air. Air holds the life force of the universe, and when we become aware of our connection to it, we create a pathway to guidance, support, and even abundance. Today you are being guided to take more breathing space in your life. When too many things are piled into your schedule, your breath can become shallow, your energy can be spread thin, and eventually you can feel drained. So take note of your breath. If you were holding it or restricting it while doing tasks in your daily life, know that that's not in full alignment with your being. You weren't born to live with a half full cup. You were here to breathe with ease and live a life that is full of purpose and connection and enjoyment. And then the little affirmation says, I take the time I need to breathe. Well, great. Breathe and find our way into feeling like the rich, abundant folks that we are. So, high five. Feeling extra weird today. We'll just blame it on the new moon eclipse. It sounds great. That's it. Happy new moon, Scorpios, Pisceans, and Cancers, water signs. Have a great rest of your day or night whenever you get this. If you are interested in booking a personal reading, you can do that with me through my website. And if you have any questions, you can always message me first. Bye.